Hello, everyone. Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Thanks for signing up and attending this short webinar. I am Hussein Khan, the Master Trainer at EFXCO. We are a creative training center in based in Cyberjaya in Malaysia. Okay. Firstly, my team and I would like to wish everyone to stay strong and be safe at home during these trying times. Talking about trying times, the reason why we are live today is we like to bring your attention to an offer by the people who bring you the Affinity suites of software, the Affinity Photo, the designer, and the publisher. They are giving a 90-day trial instead of the usual 14 days. And after which, once the trial is over, you can purchase the software at 50% off. So I think that this is a very good deal for those who are people like freelancers and trying to lower your overheads, especially during this period. If you're currently subscribed to the Adobe suite, I mean, if you're a Photoshop user, InDesign user, or even an Illustrator user, you may want to consider trying the Affinity applications. I've been using applications. I mean, I've been using the Adobe applications for a long while now, and I'm not in any way associated with the serif series of softwares in any way, but I'm trying to put that word out there so people are aware of the offer. So let's get into it. Hopefully you have downloaded the trial version of the Affinity Designer today. We're going to talk about the designer today. And if you have not, you just have to go to the website and you will see a notice that you can download and use the software. Okay, so let me just bring my screen up. Okay, so this is our website. Very quickly to tell you that we do provide courses, anything from the Adobe suites to the Affinity courses, Unity, visual effects, virtual reality courses. We also have Substance courses and Blender courses. Obviously, Blender is the 3D software. Okay, so let's jump into Affinity's website. So this is the website, affinity.serif.com. Once you open it up, you will receive this notice that they are offering a 90-day free trial. They have for the Mac and the Windows version, and they are offering a 50% discount once your trial has expired. Okay, let's have a look at what they have. They have the Affinity Publisher, which is similar to Adobe InDesign. Photo was covered yesterday. We did a live session, 2 live sessions yesterday, which I covered the Affinity Photo. If you missed that, please go back to our Facebook and have a look at the short video. This is similar to Adobe Photoshop. And today I'm going to be talking about Affinity Designer. It's similar to what we have for your Adobe Illustrator. Okay, all right. So I'm sure a lot of designers out there are interested to know how good AFFINITY Designer is compared to Illustrator. All right, so I'm going to show you some topics that I've prepared, basically going through the features, so you're more aware of what you can compare the two. Yeah. They also have an iPad version, which you can download and use, and it's a full-fledged version, by the way. Okay, let's jump to the designer's website and look at the features. Then I'll show you some demo a little later. Yeah, it's a video you can play later on if you want to. So they have won some awards. Pan and zoom at 60 FPS, live gradient effects and adjustments, real-time blend mode. Some of the features that I see that because I've been using Illustrator for a while now, and I'm just going to point out some features which maybe Illustrator doesn't have yet. 1000 of object with no lag. Let's have a look. Let's go down. Oh, they have this, what they call a persona, where you can jump in and out of the raster and vector persona. So if you can see down here, we have this image, vector and raster. This is just vector only. So if you do, just click on that. That's what you get when you are in vector mode. And if you switch to the vector and raster mode, you can do your shading and everything. Unlimited artboards. So this is one of the features that Illustrator does not have. If I'm not mistaken, Illustrator only has about 100 artboards maximum. I'm not too sure about that, but I did some Googling yesterday and I found out it's only 100 artboards. But apparently, Affinity Designer has unlimited artboards. You can import PSD files, in Illustrator files, PDF, and whatnot. Okay, they have link symbols, which I'm going to show you a little later. It works for Windows, Mac, and iPad. Non-destructive Boolean operation, which is interesting. I'm going to show this later, right? You can do Boolean operation, but you can also change them as you go along. Column and pages, isometric grids and planes, auto alignment tools, pixel snapping and alignment. They can, apparently they say they can zoom in at 1,000,000%. Yeah, we'll try and see if we can see that later. Unlimited artboards. You can export as 1 to x3x resolution. Link symbols, which I'll show you a little later. Typography. I'm going to show you some parts of typography well. Artistic text and text frames. All right, these are all the files, file types that you can output, yeah, from within Adobe Designer. Price-wise, it was about almost 200 ringgit. Now it's about 104 ringgit 90 cents. So I'm sure wherever you are, if you log in into the website, you will see the price in your own currency. Okay, the iPad version is only 40 ringgit. Okay, let's jump into Affinity Designer. Here we are. Okay, so if you look at the interface, you will see that it's similar to Adobe Illustrator. Yeah, the keyboard shortcuts are almost all the same. So I'm clicking on keyboard Command minus and Command plus to zoom in. Yeah, you can use your hand tool, which is down here, to move around. And let's try that 1,000,000 zoom level in. Okay, zooming in. Let's go to this part. And I can see the bottom on my side here. There we are zooming in at this spot, 1,100%. So apparently some parts of this image or this particular illustration has some raster base image. I can't see the number there, but they're posting that's going to be 1 million. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so let's have a look at some features here. Unlimited artboards. So if you create a new file, file new, you'll be presented with this panel, which allows you to create some artboard here. Yeah, let's create an artboard. I'll create a landscape and click on the artboard there. Yeah, and I'll say create. There you go. You can see the artboard name up here. All right. And if I zoom out, I can use my artboard tool, which is the second tool from the top right. It's called the artboard tool. So you can draw your artboards. Yeah, let's just do that. I've written the artboard over here with my snapping enabled. I can create as many artboards as I want. So they are saying that you can create unlimited artboards in Affinity Designer. Okay, which means to say you can have multiple designs with different dimensions. For instance, your letterhead, your envelopes, your business card, whatever that's necessary for a business collateral in just one file. Okay, perhaps I could have a business card over here, and maybe a postcard over there. Yeah, and all this can be in just one file, right? And as you go along, you see the names of the artboard. Okay, you will be able to click on here and change the artboard. Let's say if I click on this artboard, I can just rename it to poster landscape. Okay, and the changes there. Right. So that's about artboards. The artboard tool is right up here. Yeah, after the move tool. And you can also have some presets artboard here as well. Okay, let's see if I do one for Apple Watch. I just do insert artboard, and you'll get the artboard here. Very straightforward. Okay, so that's about artboards. And while we are looking at the interface, you can see that we have layer panels on here, styles, text styles, stocks, which is really interesting because they have access to sites such as Unsplash, Pexels, and Pixabay. And for those who know that these three sites are actually all free images that you can download. So you can do a search bar here. Let's say we look for something called buildings. Okay. And I'll just press enter on my keyboard. You'll be presented with all the images of buildings. And these are all high-res images. Okay, which means you can combine your raster and your vector in one file. There's no need to import no file place. Okay, do check that out. So the next topic will be talking about the savable history. All the Affinity softwares have the feature where you can save the history as part of the file. So the bottom right corner here, you see I have a history panel. You don't see it because I'll try it out. Okay, so I'll just jump to the other one. You will see here that I've created some history by creating all the artboards earlier. Yeah, and you can rewind it using this nice slider. Goes back and forward. Okay, let me zoom that out. You can see that. So undo is just by sliding, and obviously you can click on the history to go back and forward. All right, and all this can be saved with the document. If you go to File and you choose Save History with Document, okay, I'm going to do that now, and it's going to give you a little warning here. Enabling saving means that anybody you've sent this document gets everything you did to create. This could be good. Yeah, you still want to enable? I say yes. Let's zoom out and save this file. Remember this history over here? File, save as. I'm going to put it on my desktop. I'm going to call this artboard test. Let's save that. Let's close this file. Okay, and let's reopen that. History is 0, nothing here. File, open recent artboard test. There you go, right? The history is back here. So this is something which I don't think so Illustrator has it. Something that probably could be helpful. Okay, that is the savable history. The next thing is talking about exporting to PSD, SVG, and whatnot. So let's say we go back to this illustration. Let's put history back into its area. And I want to save this as a PSD file, and I'll show you whether I can open up in Photoshop. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Export. Okay, this is not allowed because this is one of the proprietary from Affinity themselves. Let's create something here. Let's say, let me just get rid of all this stuff. We'll just do a simple file, open it up in Photoshop. I'm going to go and grab some rectangles, create some rectangles, maybe give them some styles. Yeah, give that a style as well. While we're looking at styles, just having a bit of fun here. Okay, let's say we have those. Say this is my awesome illustration, which my client loves. Get rid of that one. Okay, let's save this. File, export, and I'm going to send it to Photoshop. Yep, PSD, preserve accuracy, blah blah blah, area and all that stuff. Let's do an export, and I'm going to put it on my desktop. Let's say PS test. Keep things simple. Okay, let's save that. All right, so I'm going to jump into Photoshop. Oh, by the way, if you have any questions, do let us know, because I've got my team member, Mr. Hakim, with us today to moderate and answer your question if you wish to, yeah? Let me have a look whether there's any questions here. Feels like, let me have a look. Yeah, we are online. Yeah, we've got 18 people online. Thank you for joining, guys. If you do have any questions, do leave in the chat so we can answer them. Okay, so as I was saying, let me open up Photoshop. And open this file in Photoshop. I've got Photoshop installed here. I'm going to do an open. And now I left it online. I mean on my desktop. PS test PSD. Yeah, you can see that there. And I'll open that up. in Photoshop. There you go. So this is Photoshop. We've got our posters with all the layers ready for you to edit. Yep. And if I use my move tool here, you can see that because the software is locked, layer is locked, so let's unlock the layer. Yep. Yep, there you go. Okay, that's fine. It works. Yeah. Let's exit from Photoshop. I'm not going to save that. Let's go back into Affinity Designer. Okay, so that's about exporting to PSD and TIFF and PNG. Yeah. Let's talk about link symbols. Yeah. So I've prepared. I'm going to close that down. We don't do that anymore. Let's open up a file. Symbols. Here you go. So say that you are required to create some location pointers like this, yeah, in Illustrator, or in this case in Designer, and you are going to put all these locators everywhere on the map, and for some reason your boss or your client might say, I don't like the color, can you change it for me? So let's say you have 1,000 of this on the screen. It's going to be you're going to take a tough time to change all of them. So we have what we call a symbol inside of Designer. Okay, we have a symbol panel top right here. So I'm going to select, this is just a simple illustration that I did. It's just an ellipse and a curve, which I edited with pen tool. Okay, so I'm going to just select that, and I'm going to go and create a symbol in my symbol panel. There you go. Yeah, it becomes one symbol. Oh, sorry, I forgot one step. I have to group them up first. Right click, select, right click, group them up, and then I'll create a symbol out of it. There you go. Okay, and for instance, now if I want to put my locators anywhere in the map, yeah, just for example, let's say we have 1,000 of them here, and the next day when you go and see your client, they say, break doesn't suit me, can you change something color? So it'll be easiest going down to this, back to the master symbol. Yeah, open it up. Let's say the red one doesn't fit you. Click on that, and let's go to color, and you can just change the color as you like. So it's live. Yeah. So all of them will be changed at one go. So this is kind of cool because it saves you a lot of time. All right. So that's symbols for you. And let's look at another one. Importing of Adobe Illustrator files. Yeah, let's have a look at that one. So I have prepared an Illustrator file. And let me show you in Illustrator first. So I've got this brochure that I made for my company. Okay, we're supposed to be printing it now. Unfortunately, and nobody can go out at the moment. And but let's try this. So I've got this done in Illustrator. You can see the layers and everything. Okay, so I've saved this, and I will want to open up this in InDesigner now. Okay, so I'm going to quit Illustrator from here, and let's jump into Designer. I've got a file open, and that file is on my desktop. There you go, AI file. You can clearly see there. Open that up. It's going to ask you a question about DPI and whatnot. Nothing much to look at here. Just say open, and there you go. Right? You have 2 pages, and all of them will have exactly what you have in Illustrator. Editable text. Yeah, you can just double click on it. I can just change my text. The rest of it is just I've converted to outlines because this was supposed to go out to the printer. There you go, right? You can edit all this stuff. So it works 100%, right? So you have colleagues or clients who give you an AI file, not a problem. You can open it up in Adobe InDesign. Sorry, Affinity Designer. Okay. I also promised to show you the Boolean operation, non-destructive Boolean operation. All right, so let me just create a new file, file new. And let's do an A4 size, a landscape, keep the rest all the same. Let's do a create. Okay, I'm gonna just create some simple shapes. Let's create 2 circles. Just gonna color this. I like this wheel here. Just changing your hue, it will be easier that way. And then your hue and shading and tinting, all from one view like that, yeah? Kind of like this one. Maybe I'll make it that color, and I'm going to duplicate that. For keyboard shortcut for duplication in Designer is Command or Control J. Yeah. Remember J for jump. I'm going to just make another color of this, something lighter. Okay. So usually when you are in a software like Illustrator, you probably need to select both of them. And up here we have our, well, Illustrator is called Pathfinder, or in India it's called Boolean Operations. Add, subtract, intersect, XOR, divide. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to do an add. Sorry, I'm going to do a subtract. Okay. Let's do an add first. So if I do combine these two guys, it becomes one shape. Okay. And that's it. You can't do anything anymore. It's not live. It's fixed. Okay. If I do undo, let's select both of them again. And this time I want to do a subtract. So if I do subtract, you get that. And you can't, there's no way for you to edit, right? So in Affinity Designer, you have the feature of doing a live Boolean operation. I'll show you. Select both of them. Before you click on the icon here, subtract icon, hold down the Option or Alt key and click on it. Yeah. So if you notice that there's some stuff here, because you can see the bounding box, yeah, which means now if I were to change the shape here, okay, you can see we have 2 shapes in here. That shape is still there. See what I mean? I can just move in, and then now the shape is by itself. Okay. Or if I were to select that ellipse and move it inside, make it smaller, you can see it's changeable. Yeah. I'm using the layer area to select the 2 items. So this is non-destructible Boolean operation. So you can play around with that, see what kind of shape that you come up with. Talking about shapes, Designer has much more shapes that you have in Illustrator. Yeah, you can create all this stuff. Very interesting. Donut, pie, segment, cog tool, cloud tool. Interesting, right? Let's play with the cog tool. Let's do a cog. I'm holding on my shift key. Let's change the color, something more interesting. And if you zoom in, Command plus. And now if you switch to your node tool, yeah, you can see up here that we have control of changing the radius and everything. Yeah. Up here we have the hole, can make it bigger and larger. The notch size we can change. Yeah, interesting. The curvature of the notch. So you can come up with some nice shapes. All right. So that's your cog. Let's try another one. Try something else. Let's try Let's try the star tool, square star tool. That's interesting. There you go. All right. So again, we have the controls up here. We can change the sides. Yeah. The cutout can be thicker or thinner. And obviously we can change strokes and whatnot. Yeah. So do download the software and play around with this. It's kind of interesting. Yeah. You can create some brilliant or some interesting shapes with it. Okay. Let's talk about artistic text. Yeah. So I'm going to go and grab my text tool. Just like Illustrator, we have two versions of text that we can do. They call it artistic text, and the other one is a frame text tool. Yeah, artistic text. Just click and just type. Let me change that to, let's say, 72. Artistic. Yeah. Grab the edge, make it bigger. Let's change this font to something more interesting. Let's try something like this. Yeah. And the interesting part about Designer I like is that you can, let's say, select the A and you open up this little panel up here, typography. Yeah, you see that? And it gives you options of changing the ligatures. Yeah. So let's see if I try small caps. Yeah. Let's try the C. Do we have any other options for all C? The all caps, the normal. Okay, so you can just play with this one. So this is similar to the glyphs panel that we have in Adobe Illustrator. Okay, let's try a different font. I'm sure I did something very nice yesterday. Let's go down. There you go. Let's try Alicia. Okay, so we have that cap. Change to that A, and this C. Let's see whether we can give it a nice longer C. Okay, just like that. That's interesting. Okay, so you can use the typography panel. So you have a lot of options here. You can change all this stuff. I can even change to something like that. Something like that. Something like that. Okay. So you also have an option to export as 1x, 2x, and 3x. For that, you will have to go to what they call a persona, which is here. Right. Let's jump back to this file here. I'm not sure if this one will be allowed to export. But let's do this. Yeah. So let's jump to what we call export persona. And in here, you have access to the slices tab. And if you open up this little twirly triangle, you see that you can access to your 1x, 2x. You have this in Illustrator as well, but they have built this into Designer. What this is all about is actually giving you the option of exporting your design in 100%, 200%, 300%, just in case your client asks for it. Okay, it's hidden right here inside of the export persona. Talking about personas, you can also Designer also has what we call a pixel persona. Yeah, built right into Designer, we are able to edit as if the illustration is a pixel-based illustration. Okay, which means you have your in this case pixel-based tools over here. You have brushes, you have the selection tools. Yeah, you have erasers, you have paint buckets, and everything. Which means you can come in and use a tool as if it's just a raster image. Yeah, you can just come and do your, perhaps your brush. Okay, let's start some painting on top of it. I think I should be in like this. Yeah, but you can do that. Yeah, you can come in and do the brush stuff. I think that is possibly the wrong page. Page 2, so I can only brush page 2. Okay, so how about that? You have raster capabilities in a vector-based application. Okay, so these are some of the topics, some of the stuff that you can do in InDesign. Very interesting. So if you'd like to learn more about Affinity Designer, you can browse their website, and they do have nice, good tutorials there that you can learn Designer. If you like a classroom-based environment, obviously you can visit our website, EFXCO.my. We do provide Affinity courses, and so that's it for today. Do take advantage of the offer. It's going to be around for 90 days. Okay, and if you have any comments or questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. We'll be conducting more sessions as we go along, so look out for an announcement in our Facebook page or our Instagram page, so you are notified of the classes that we're going to do next. All right, so take care, everyone. Stay safe, stay at home, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.